Is this what they play? Do they sing David Raya? Is that the song that Arsenal fans?
I'm guessing so. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'll look to the gallery where there are two of them. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
There was only one man to talk to about that today, and he joins us now, David Seamen. Hi, David.
Hello, guys. You okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, David.
So, I mean, let's get a keeper's appraisal, and what's more, a former Arsenal keeper's appraisal. I mean, you know, as lay people, we think it's a great save. I take it you think so as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and especially the second save, when you look at that, you know, from where he went from saving the penalty down to his right, you know, the way that he got himself back up. But the most important thing was that he didn't turn the back on play. You know, if you watch him, he spins around, but he's always got his head focused on the ball, so he can react from that. And then when he has to react to make the save down to his left, he ain't just got to block it. He's got to like scoop it out a little bit as well, you know, because if he just blocks it on the line, there was quite a few players around him. So it was a fantastic save, and he's putting quite a collection together this season, you know, because he'd been doing it in the Premier League as well.
He almost goes beyond the ball because he's expecting Retegui to put it into the corner, and he almost goes beyond the ball. So he's not almost full stretch for the second one. But, I mean, you could see it does partly cross the line. So it's a heck of a save because it's a pretty powerful header. It might not be in the corner, but there's some power on it, isn't there?
Yeah, and you know, and he's got a couple of things to do and to take into consideration there. You know, first of all, he's got to block it, you know, and stop it from going over the line. And then he's got to think about, you know, and this is all within a split second, you know, he's got to think about where's he going to go after this. You know, sometimes you just make the save and then scoop it out and then hope for the best. You know, but fortunately for Arsenal, you know, it went to a couple of Arsenal defenders and they got rid of it. But you can't take anything away from it. It was a fantastic save, you know, fantastic double save, and the fact that it's on a penalty as well, it was brilliant.
Yeah, definitely helped Arsenal get a point there. He did get away with, I was saying to Paul, and the commentators didn't notice and nobody really said anything, but he was, later on in the game, he bowled the ball out and it hit one of either an Arsenal player or an Atalanta player, and luckily it rebounded to an Arsenal player, because he was out of his goal. It could easily have been quite embarrassing for him, but he kind of got away with it. I don't know if you caught that one.
No, well, if I'm honest, I didn't see the game. I was out celebrating my birthday last night with the
yes, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
I was out with Mr. Wright and Nancy Wright and my wife Frankie, and we were having a good time. And I was like checking the score on my phone, and Wright was like, "Goldie, don't tell me the score! Don't tell me the score!" Watch it when he got back home.
No, he's a really terrific keeper. I mean, everybody questioned Arteta when he brought him in because of Ramsdale had done a decent job, but it looks like he was right.
I mean, you've probably been speaking to the guys down at Arsenal, and you know, it couldn't have been an easy. We spoke to Aaron Ramsdale the other week, David, and he was pretty sort of stoic about it all. He understands how these things work, and he has no hard feelings. He said he still chats to Mikel Arteta. There's no bitterness there, but you know, I mean, he's proving time and time again that he justifies that number one status, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, you know, and since he's gone in there, you know, and I think when David first went in there, he found it a little bit difficult because of the pressure that's expected from Arsenal, you know, and from Arsenal people, you know, and I think that's where he struggled a little bit, but now he's got his confidence back. He's into his second season, and he's looking the real deal now. But you know, I know. You know, I felt for Aaron. I think everybody did, but you know, we could all see as to why Mikel wanted him. You know, because of the way that David Raya plays out of the back. You know, he's got so much composure. He's just so good at that. But now he's adding all these extra bits. You know, he's really dominant on crosses as well. You know, I think he had like the best record of that from last season. And now he's showing that he's equally as good with his shot stopping, and he's pulling off some fantastic saves.
Yeah, they've got a fantastic defence now, Arsenal, which you do need to win things. There's no question about that. They're not quite as attractive to watch, I don't think, as they were 2 seasons ago when they went so close, but fell away.
20 seasons ago.
No, I'm talking about 2 seasons ago when they fell away after Saliba's injury. But, you know, it's effective, and if they get a result on Sunday, then people will be delighted for that. Well,
yeah, it's a big game Sunday, and you know, when you look at last season, and we took 4 points off City, it was the other clubs that we struggled against. You know, people like, I think it was Villa and Brighton. You know, so yeah, but the thing is now is that we are going up to City, and we're not thinking, oh, we're going to get hammered or anything like that. You know, we're going up there with a chance to get some points. You know, people talked about last season that we went up there for the draw, and then why didn't we go for it when we were drawing? I'm thinking that you can't go for it at Man City because they can knock 3 past you within 10 minutes, so you would take a draw all day long before the game. And I think that's still the same feeling as we go.
It's just a shame for the neutrals, though, because it's not a great watch, of course. And what the game will need, you won't want it, but neutrals will, was City to score early, and then let's see what Arsenal have got then. And I think it will be interesting if that happens, but it's going to be hard to break them down, no question.
It will be. I'll go for 10-9 though, Andy. So long as it's in our favour.
We were chatting to Ian Stone, who's an Arsenal fan, comedian, podcaster, and I said, would you be happy if they go and do what they did last year and just a real sort of rear guard? And he said, I'd like us to be a bit more inventive. I mean...
Hard without Odegaard, though.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? We're full strength, and with someone as creative as that, you maybe could, but it's going to be a lot harder otherwise.
Yeah, it is. Obviously Odegaard's out, and we don't know the situation with De Bruyne or for City. But yeah, it is tough, and it's, I'm noticing that Arsenal fans are getting a little bit picky now. Like we're going to Man City, and let's go and play better than we did. Like we got a draw. That was a great result. Okay, at the end of the season, it wasn't the right result, but I will take a draw right now if you offered it me.
Now, whenever somebody makes a great save, every newspaper, everybody else, TV, they all dust down a few old great saves. And of course, we see Banks against Pele in Mexico 70. We see your one, don't we, in 2003 in the FA Cup against Sheffield United.
Yeah, against Pesky Scalido. Not exactly, but it's close enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a save that I made in the semi-final, and that was a little bit similar to David's, where I had to scoop it out and then put it somewhere else. I couldn't just block it, But David's was more like obviously it's a double save, so it's a more reaction save from the first penalty save.
Yeah.
But it's what we do in training. We often do double saves. We save one ball and then we're ready for the next. That's coming in, and there's a lot of training gone into them sort of saves, and it paid off.
I suppose it is muscle memory from Rao's point of view, because that is a drill. That is a standard drill, isn't it? Save one way, get up and save one the other way. So in the end, I suppose, it's not like you train broadly to do stuff like that. You train specifically to do that, don't you?
Yeah, you do, because that those situations could happen, and it's the fact that he made it look easy, I felt, like you say, he was almost past it, because he got there. He sort of anticipated where the guy was going to put the header, but he had to deal with it at the end of that, like I said earlier, he had to guide it into a certain position, without letting it go past the line.
The penalty itself, David, he definitely... he gave him more of an area to aim at, didn't he? Favoured one side, and that is quite an interesting idea, because I was thinking as he's taking it, where do you put it? If he's left you a bigger gap, so you think, well, that's the obvious place to put it, and if you aim it at the smaller gap, then maybe he could save it if he doesn't move. It was a clever thing to do. It just put a little bit of doubt, I think, in the forwards' mind.
Yeah,
he does. Like you say, if they see a gap there and they think, oh, that I might go for that, and then if David's going to anticipate that, then he'll save it. Then it makes the kicker look a right mug. But yeah, it's just mind games. Trust me, taking a penalty is hard enough in itself, right? I tried that against Peter Schmeichel in the Charity Shield, and Peter threw his cap on it.
Did he score against you, by the way, Peter? Did he score against you in that?
No, he didn't take one. Brian Robson came up and scored the next one, and that was it. We'd lost the Charity Shield. But I'd much rather stick to trying to save them than actually take them.
Was that your best save, that Sheffield United one? Was there one other? Maybe there was one that you always think, well, I wish they'd seen that one I made for Peterborough when I was a kid. I mean, there was
there was a few, but there's there was one that I made for Arsenal against Aston Villa, which was a deflection, and I pulled it from behind me. But everybody recognises or remembers the Sheffield United one, and the fact that I was 39 when I made that save as well, and then we went on to win the FA Cup as well, and it was my last ever game for Arsenal, and I was captain for the day, so it all fits nicely into it being my best save.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't forget you had a little spell at City at the end of your career as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So I've got a lot of fond memories up there, and I met a lot of really, really great people, especially around the ground and the training ground.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4, on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.